some towns disappear in a flash, wiped out by disasters or erased by war. Others fade in silence. No explosions, no headlines. People leave one by one. Storefronts close without ceremony, and the roads stay where they are, even when almost no one uses them anymore. In Georgia, this kind of slow disappearance isn't rare. It's woven into the fabric of small towns that once mattered, once functioned, and were quietly left behind by time. Today, we're tracing those places, not to romanticize them, but to understand how a town can vanish without ever officially dying. Jesup in Wayne County isn't dead. About 10,200 people still live here, but the town moves cautiously, as if unsure of what comes next. Jesup was born at the crossroads of railroad lines after the Civil War, and that legacy still defines it. The tracks cut straight through town, a reminder of when movement and trade were everything. The issue is fragility. Median household income hovers around $48,300, while roughly 22% of residents live below the poverty line. Agriculture and small industries still dominate, leaving Jesup exposed whenever the economy shifts. The little red caboose, a modest relic from the rail era, stands as a symbol of what once powered the town. Jesup isn't a ghost town, but it isn't settled either. It survives in a holding pattern, waiting to see whether change will revive it or slowly wear it down. Darien, along the coast of McIntyre County, feels like a town moving in slow motion. Its population sits at around 1,650 people. Wooden docks, shrimp boats, and aging buildings give the place a calm that feels untouched by urgency. Founded in 1736 by Scottish settlers, Darien was once burned during the Civil War and later rebuilt. That resilience still defines its character. Fishing and shrimping remain the backbone of the local economy, while traditions like the blessing of the fleet and a museum housed in an old jail help preserve its identity. But beneath the quiet charm are warning signs. Fewer young residents, struggling small businesses, and historic homes left empty. Darien is alive, but its future is far from guaranteed. Tai shows an even quieter side of Georgia. Wide fields stretch outward, roads feel unusually empty, and daily life follows a slow, rural rhythm. The town depends on small-scale farming and a shrinking number of local businesses. The community still functions. There are schools, modest events, and strong personal ties. But reliance on aging industries leaves Tai exposed. The town takes its name from the local tai tree, long seen as a symbol of resilience. Ironically, resilience alone isn't enough. Economic pressure and population loss continue to pull people away. Tai now sits in a gray zone, still standing, still breathing, but gradually slipping out of relevance. A quiet example of how towns don't always disappear loudly. From Tai, which sits on the edge of uncertainty, the road leads to Ocilla, the small county seat of Irwin County, a town where decline is easier to see. With a population of around 3,100, Ocilla still functions on the surface. Schools remain open, churches are active, and a handful of local shops continue operating. But the downtown tells a different story. Old buildings sit empty, windows are boarded up, and foot traffic feels thin, placing Ocilla on a narrow line between survival and becoming a ghost town. Ocilla once relied heavily on agriculture and local trade as its economic backbone. Over time, the closure of key businesses and the steady departure of younger generations have weakened that foundation. Unemployment runs higher than the state average, and median household income sits around $35,000. Ocilla didn't collapse overnight. It faded slowly, leaving behind standing structures, visible history, and a town that's still there, but visited less and less by opportunity. As Ocilla continues to dim, the journey reaches Chauncey, a small town in Dodge County that appears peaceful at first glance, but shows clear signs of population loss and economic slowdown. Home to roughly 650 people, Chauncey once thrived because a railroad line passed through it, turning the town into a local hub for trade and movement. That pulse is now barely noticeable. Many old buildings are vacant, storefronts are shuttered, and economic activity is minimal. Today, Chauncey depends on small-scale farming and the few local businesses that remain. Median household income hovers around $36,000, slightly below Georgia's average. Over the years, younger residents have continued to leave in search of work elsewhere. The aging buildings along the old rail lines still stand, creating a faint ghost town atmosphere, as if Chauncey is paused in time, waiting to see whether it will recover or quietly disappear. Surrounded by the greenery of Wayne County, Odum appears calm, almost unchanged, but beneath that stillness is a slow, steady population decline. With about 400 residents, Odum still has its school, churches, and a few local shops. At the same time, empty homes and closed businesses signal that economic life is no longer what it once was. Odum began as an agricultural town, built around corn, cotton, and other local crops. That dependence on traditional farming left it vulnerable as economic conditions shifted. Every lost business carries noticeable weight. Early 20th century structures, wooden churches, and an old town hall remain standing, lending the town a nostalgic feel and serving as quiet reminders that Odum is slowly drifting towards silence. In Scotland, silence seems built into the landscape. Rows of aging wooden houses sit motionless, old storefronts remain tightly shut, and weathered signs creak softly in the wind. The town moves slowly, carrying the weight of stories from another era. Today, only about 200 residents are believed to remain. The quiet is unmistakable. Scotland stands on a fragile edge between holding on and being fully abandoned. Even so, life hasn't vanished entirely. Historic churches are still in use, local farmers continue working their land, and the remaining residents do what they can to preserve a sense of community. The economy depends almost entirely on small-scale agriculture, but population decline and a lack of jobs leave the town's future uncertain. Scotland shows how a small Georgia town can lose its spirit gradually, leaving behind a quiet but tangible presence of the past. Arriving in Surrency, in Appling County, the sense of decline is immediate. The main road feels empty, dust settles on the pavement, old shops sit closed, and wooden homes stand with little sign of daily life. The town is now home to roughly 300 people, and that number continues to shrink as younger residents leave for Atlanta or other larger cities. Median household income is only around $32,000, well below the state average, and unemployment remains high, keeping the local economy fragile. A few small farms are still operating, but much of the surrounding land now sits unused. Schools and churches remain open, serving as the last gathering points for the community, even as attendance drops year after year. Surrency once functioned as a stop along a minor rail line, but today, that connection is barely relevant. What's left is a town quietly thinning out, one departure at a time. Cedartown was once a modest center of farming and local trade in Polk County. Today, its name is rarely heard. Fewer than 150 people are thought to live here, most of them clustered along a single road that still sees occasional traffic. Beyond that strip, large parts of the town feel empty and untouched. The local economy is in critical condition. Farms have been abandoned, businesses have closed, and job opportunities are nearly non-existent. Household incomes remain low, pushing younger families to leave for nearby towns in search of stability. Without any meaningful economic recovery, Cedartown risks becoming a full ghost town in the near future. It stands as a stark example of how small towns in Georgia don't always disappear suddenly. Sometimes, they simply fade into silence, leaving their stories behind in the streets they once filled. The moment you enter Seville, the atmosphere feels heavy and quiet. The main road is coated in dust. Many old wooden buildings lean or are close to collapse, and several homes appear to have been abandoned for years. The town is now estimated to have only about 150 residents, most of them elderly people who stay because of family land and deep personal ties. Younger generations left long ago to look for work in larger cities. With few services and almost no economic activity, Seville is drifting closer to ghost town status. Economic movement here has nearly stopped. Farming still exists, but much of the land sits unused and unproductive. Small shops that once served as social hubs have closed one by one. Household income remains low, unemployment is high, and there are virtually no new opportunities. Seville feels like a place that now lives more in memory than in daily reality. Bowersville, in Hart County, feels like a town held in place by time. Its short streets are quiet, old wooden homes still stand, but many are vacant or only occupied part-time. With a population of around 400 people, the town still shows traces of small community life, though the population continues to decline as younger residents leave in search of better jobs elsewhere. The local economy depends almost entirely on small-scale farming. A few businesses remain, but most closed years ago. Household income is relatively low, and job opportunities are scarce, making Bowersville vulnerable to gradual abandonment. The town reflects the reality of many small places in Georgia, holding on at the edge of silence while time and economic change slowly wear them down. Barnesville feels like a place nearly erased by history. Human activity is barely visible. Roads are empty, old wooden houses stand without occupants, and several buildings are collapsing from age and neglect. Once an active farming community, Barnesville slowly lost its residents, leaving the town locked in long silence. Today, there are no functioning schools, shops, or public facilities. Population and income data are almost meaningless because nearly everyone has left. Fields lie abandoned, and nature has begun reclaiming what remains. All that's left are old houses and building foundations, creating a true ghost town atmosphere, a place where the past is still visible, but life has been gone for a long time. Entering Pitts isn't about numbers at first, it's about atmosphere. The roads are narrow, houses sit close together, and small, older-style buildings hint at a town that once stayed busy, even if its pace has slowed. Pitts feels like a place holding its breath. Not dead, but not moving forward either. Still, the numbers are hard to ignore. Recent data shows Pitts had around 358 residents in 2023, a sharp drop of nearly 30% from roughly 509 just a year earlier. That kind of decline is rare for a town this small. Walking through downtown, faded paint and shuttered storefronts quietly mark the passage of time. Pitts isn't a ghost town yet, but population loss and shrinking job opportunities have pushed it into a fragile position. McIntyre feels like a well-kept old page that hasn't been turned in a long time. The town sign looks worn, narrow sidewalks line the road, and modest homes stand firm despite their age. Today, about 550 people live here, a number that has been slowly declining since the early 2000s, following a quiet but steady pattern of depopulation. The population of McIntyre is predominantly Black or African American, making up about 62.5% of residents, while white residents account for roughly 27.8%. Its small size fosters strong social ties, even if opportunities are limited. McIntyre grew around a railroad depot in the early 20th century, named after a railroad figure, and traces of that origin still linger in corners of the town, like echoes that haven't fully faded. Auraria is a classic boom and bust story born from a gold rush. Around 1832, this area in Lumpkin County transformed rapidly from scattered cabins into a crowded hub of miners, traders, and fortune seekers. Its name comes from the Latin aurum, meaning gold, and for a brief time, Auraria even served as the county's temporary seat. The boom didn't last. Once the county government moved to Dahlonega and gold deposits began to dry up, residents left one by one. Auraria collapsed faster than most boomtowns, becoming the first true ghost town of the American Gold Rush, long before similar towns rose and fell in the western states. Today, Auraria exists only in fragments, faint building remains, nearly erased foundations, and historical markers near the intersection of Auraria Road and Castleberry Bridge Road, standing as quiet witnesses to a town that flared briefly, then disappeared.